On New Year's Eve, 2019, militiamen and demonstrators staged a violent protest at the US Embassy in Baghdad's Green Zone. They burnt down a defense post, hurled stones at security forces, and chanted anti-American slogans. While no one was killed during the two-day demonstration, it made headlines across the world and led the US to send extra troops to Iraq to safeguard its diplomatic personnel. Former US President Donald Trump swiftly blamed Iran for the incident, and his retaliation brought the two countries to the brink of war.
We will find you, we will eliminate you, we will always protect our diplomats, service members, all Americans, and our allies.
هاي العجلة الثانية. هذا من بشر محترق لا حول الله يا ربي.
The US assassinated General Qasem Soleimani on the 3rd of January 2020 near Baghdad International Airport. A commander in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, he was considered by some to be the second most powerful figure in Iran. But why was Iran being held responsible for the actions of militias in Iraq? The answer, in part, is due to a militant group named Kataib Hezbollah. The US Embassy storming had been the latest in a series of tit-for-tat exchanges between the US and this group, which is backed by Iran. 2 days before, US warplanes had bombed several bases belonging to them. That had been in response to the killing of a US civilian contractor who died in a rocket attack on an Iraqi military base. So who are Kataib Hezbollah, and how do they fit into the story of the escalating tensions between Washington and Tehran playing out in Iraq? Kataib Hezbollah, which translates into English as Brigades of the Party of God, is an Iranian-backed Shia militia operating predominantly in Iraq. They pledge their loyalty to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, and seek to establish a Shia Islamic government in the country with clear allegiance to Iran and its Wilayat al-Faqih. They've publicly declared their rejection of Iraqi government measures to curtail militias and have threatened the government. It was founded in 2007 by Abu Mahdi Al Muhandis in an effort to fight US and coalition forces that had invaded in 2003. Al Muhandis led until 2020, but was killed in the same US drone strike that assassinated General Soleimani. The group, which is estimated to consist of somewhere between hundreds and thousands of members, is bankrolled by the IRGC and is suspected of running smuggling networks to transfer Iranian weapons into Iraq. They're deemed a terrorist organisation by the UAE and the US, and were behind some of the most lethal attacks on coalition forces during the US-led war in Iraq. They've also conducted operations in Syria in support of the government of Bashar al-Assad. Today, it's a leading member of the Popular Mobilization Forces, an umbrella of mostly Shia militant groups formed in 2014 to defeat ISIS. And while it succeeded, the group has come under the scrutiny of non-governmental organisations. In 2016, Human Rights Watch documented the torture, execution and enforced disappearance of Sunni Muslims in Iraq, perpetrated by Kataib Hezbollah, as parts of the country were liberated from ISIS control. But after relying on militias in the war against ISIS, Iraq's parliament voted to make PMF a part of its official state security. At the same time, Kataib Hezbollah has turned its attention back to attacking US interests in Iraq and the wider region. It aims to emulate its sister Hezbollah in Lebanon. Tensions remain high, and Iraq continues to be an area of proxy conflict between the US and Iran. Kataib Hezbollah, alongside the wider PMF, maintain their status as a major political and military actor in Iraq, while simultaneously attacking Iraq's ally, the United States, leaving the Iraqi government in a difficult position between its increasingly influential neighbour and the military superpower that invaded almost 2 decades ago.